Greta Weil had been flying long enough to know what she was looking at. She was already on the jet bridge, bag over her shoulder, boarding pass tucked in her coat pocket, 4 steps from the cabin door, when something made her stop. Not a sound. More the quality of the silence behind her. The kind that settles over a gate when something wrong is happening slowly, and the people watching have quietly decided that someone else will say something first. She turned around. At gate 27's counter, a man in a dark coat stood in front of Agent Terrence Lowell with a boarding pass held between them like evidence at a hearing. The man was tall, with the deliberate stillness of someone who had trained himself not to react. Greta recognized that stillness immediately. 22 years in airline compliance had shown it to her before, the particular composure of a person who has been told something is wrong when they know it is not, and who has made the calculation, in the space of one breath, to hold their ground. Lowell was speaking. She could not hear the words, but she could read the posture, the slight lean over the counter, the boarding pass held a beat too long before being returned, the fingers gesturing toward the far end of the gate where the coach queue was forming. She took 1 step back toward the counter. Then another. A system duplicate. The man's voice was even, not loud, not heated, simply precise. I printed this at the hotel kiosk 40 minutes ago. Can you show me where the duplicate error appears on your screen? Sir, I'm seeing a conflict. It happens. What I can do is get you a coach seat so we don't hold the door. My ticket is for first class. I understand that. The system is showing something different. Behind the man, a white couple stepped up to the adjacent scanner. Lowell glanced at them, scanned both passes without a word, and waved them through. 4 seconds. The couple walked onto the jet bridge and disappeared. The man watched this. His jaw moved once. He said nothing about it. Greta set her carry-on down on the carpet. His name was Dr. Kwame Asante. He was 36, a cardiothoracic fellow at Hal Crest University Hospital, and he had not slept in 36 hours. He had come off a double overnight, driven home in the thin early morning, packed a single bag, and taken a rideshare to the airport for Flight 704, headed to the cardiovascular surgery conference where he was presenting research in 19 hours. The first-class ticket had been booked by the conference 3 months earlier. He was the keynote fellow, one of 4 in the country selected that year. He had printed the boarding pass at the hotel lobby kiosk with the careful, tired attention a man pays to small tasks when he is running on nothing but obligation. He did not tell any of this to Lowell. He did not feel he should have to. I asked to see the error on your screen, he said. Before we discuss alternatives. Lowell did not turn the screen. Sir, I have a flight to board. I have a seat. Seat 2C. Excuse me. Greta's voice was not loud. It carried the particular register of someone who has spent 2 decades in rooms where being heard meant not raising her voice. She stepped up beside Asante at the counter, not crowding, simply present, and set her hands flat on the desk and looked at Lowell with the level attention of a person about to ask a very small question. My name is Greta Weil. I was a compliance officer at Meridian Continental for 22 years. Retired in 2019. 1 second. Can you walk me through which provision of Meridian's gate operations standard allows an agent to rebook a confirmed first-class passenger without a supervisor present? I want to make sure I'm remembering the policy correctly. Lowell stared at her. The version I remember, she said, Section 4, Paragraph 2, requires supervisor authorization before any confirmed ticket rerouting. But policies update. I could be out of date. The queue behind them had slowed without quite stopping, the way a current slows around a stone. 14 people. A woman in a red coat near the middle had her phone out. She was not looking at her phone. I'm handling a system issue, Lowell said. That's what I'm asking about. The duplicate ticket error generates when a boarding pass is scanned at 2 terminals within 15 minutes. It doesn't mean the ticket is invalid, it means the system wants a supervisor to clear it. She paused. Is that the error you're seeing? Because if so, the fix takes 40 seconds. And it requires a supervisor. Asante had not moved. He stood with his boarding pass held at his side and looked at the jet bridge door with the patience of a man who has learned the truth does not need his help to arrive. Lowell picked up his radio. The supervisor, Dana Holt, arrived 4 minutes later from the operations office, brisk, businesslike, unsurprised. She looked at Asante's boarding pass, tapped a single command into the terminal, and watched the screen. The pass scanned green. Seat 2C, confirmed, original purchase. She looked up. "I apologize for the delay, sir." "Thank you," he said. She turned to Lowell. "Call in. Now." She picked up the desk phone herself. The gate came back to itself slowly, the way a room does after something has been said that everyone knows cannot be unsaid. The woman in the red coat put her phone in her pocket. A man near the front of the coach queue nodded once, to no one in particular. Greta retrieved her carry-on. "After you," she said. Asante looked at her. Something in his face shifted, not quite a smile, but the thing that lives underneath one when a person is too tired for the full expression. "Thank you," he said. The same 2 words he had said to the supervisor. They did not sound the same at all. He walked onto the jet bridge. Greta followed. They settled into their seats, his was 2C, hers was 4A. A flight attendant offered them water and asked no questions, which was the right thing to do. The flight boarded, the door closed, the plane pushed back. 3 rows behind Greta, the woman in the red coat, Patricia Owens, a retired schoolteacher, had not put her phone away to hide anything. She had already sent the video. 47 seconds, steady and clear, Lowell holding the boarding pass, the white couple scanned through in 4 seconds without pause, Greta's hands flat on the counter, Section 4, Paragraph 2, asked aloud in front of 14 people who had been standing there waiting for someone to say it. Meridian Continental's Passenger Relations Department received it at 9:14 that morning, 11 minutes after the flight door closed. By early afternoon, Lowell had been placed on a 30-day compliance hold pending a formal gate conduct review. A senior compliance officer reviewed the gate camera footage and confirmed what the video and terminal log already showed: a confirmed first-class boarding pass held back while unverified passengers were scanned through unchecked, no supervisor called, no protocol followed. The review was designated a pattern inquiry. It would extend backward through Lowell's gate assignments for 18 months. Meridian's regional vice president called the conference where Asante was presenting. She did not reach him. He was in the room, his research on the screen, speaking to specialists about coronary repair in pediatric patients. The message she left said Meridian regretted the experience at Gate 27, that the agent's conduct did not reflect the airline's standards, and that Asante's next 3 Meridian flights would be complimentary, with a written apology to follow. It was not enough. But it was offered without being asked for, and it was real. Greta learned all of this the following week, when a Meridian compliance officer called to thank her. She told him something she had not said to anyone else, that she had almost kept walking. That she was 4 steps onto the jet bridge when she stopped. That she had thought for 1 full second about her connection and her fatigue and whether it was her place. And then she had turned around. "I wrote that policy," she said. Section 4, Paragraph 2. "I spent 8 months on that language." She was quiet for a moment. It wasn't right to pretend I didn't know it. She set the phone down on the kitchen table and sat with her coffee. She thought about Asante at that counter. About the way he had asked, twice, to see the error on the screen, plainly, without escalating. About the choice he had made, deliberate, careful, not to say a word about the couple scanned through beside him in 4 seconds. The composure that choice requires. The years it takes to build that kind of composure. 1 question. That was all it had taken. A question she already knew the answer to, asked out loud, in front of 14 people who had been waiting to see if anyone would ask it. It was not a grand gesture. It was 47 seconds of standing at a counter and saying a true thing. Outside, the morning was clear and cold and ordinary. Somewhere in the city Dr. Kwame Asante was probably sleeping. She hoped he was sleeping.